All right, my people. So last weekend, rumors started flying that Paul Biya has been overthrown. That's right. According to the internet, Cameroon's 92-year-old president, who has ruled since before most of us were even born, had finally been kicked out. People were celebrating online. Now, some were skeptical, and others were just confused. Many people messaged me to ask if I can cover this. But here's the truth. It didn't happen. Paul Biya is still very much in power, still in the presidential palace, and still planning to run again in this year's election, according to officials. So where did this story come from? Why did so many people believe it? And what does it say about the political tension boiling just beneath the surface in Cameroon? Today on The Breakdown, we're going beyond the headlines. We're debunking the coup rumor, but more importantly, we're breaking down why that lie felt so believable in the first place. Because behind the fake news is a very real crisis, my people. A president clinging to power, a people demanding change, and a continent being flooded with dangerous AI-generated disinformation. I'm Sandra Babu-Boateng, and before we dive in, I want to invite you to be a part of something bigger, because here at Pan and Genius TV, we're not just building a channel, we're building a home for Black stories that are told with truth, intention, and with care. And if that speaks to you, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and consider joining our membership community where we go beyond the headlines with exclusive content and behind-the-scenes conversation. Also, follow me on all my socials at Sandra Babu-Boateng, and let's stay connected. All right, now, let's get into it. So here's what we know. Over the past few days, a wave of posts started flooding social media claiming that Paul Biya has been overthrown in a coup. Some showed videos of gunfire. Others claimed military sources confirmed it. There were even voice notes and AI-generated images pretending to be breaking news, quote unquote. But let's be clear, none of it is real. No credible news outlet reported it. There's been no official announcement from the government. And as of today, Paul Biya is still in charge, still holding the title of Africa's second longest ruling president. In fact, reports say he's preparing to run for an 8th term in October. So no, Cameroon did not have a coup, but let's not move on just yet. Because if you're asking, how did this rumor even start? Or why were people so quick to believe it? Then you're asking the right questions. Because that's where the real story begins. This wasn't just a random internet hoax. It was the perfect storm. A deeply unpopular president, a frustrated population, and a new digital era where AI can manufacture fake news that looks and sounds real. We're talking voice clones. We're talking deep fakes. We're talking fully fake headlines designed to go viral, because lies, my people, travel faster than the truth. And this is where it gets dangerous, not just for Cameroon, but for the entire continent. Because the more these false narratives spread, the harder it becomes to tell what's real. And the easier it becomes to manipulate public opinion, destabilize countries, and silence real movements for change.
Central Africa, where Cameroon's 91-year-old president, Paul Biya, has hinted at another term as the head of state. During the end-of-year address to the nation, Cameroon's president, Paul Biya, subtly indicated that he was interested in seeking an 8th term in the presidential elections, which are expected to be held in October of 2025. The nonagenarian leader, who has been in power since 1982, warned that 2025 was full of challenges, which was interpreted by some observers as a suggestion that Biya saw himself as the head of state of the Central African country beyond 2025.
Now let's be honest. There's a reason why the rumor that Paul Biya had been overthrown felt believable to a lot of people. It stuck because there's a political crisis brewing beneath the surface in Cameroon. Let's talk about it. Paul Biya is 92 years old. He's been in power since 1982. That's 42 years, longer than some of his citizens have even been alive. And during that time, he's barely been seen in public. He spends months abroad, often in Switzerland, with little to no explanation. So every time there's a rumor about his health or disappearance, it spreads like wildfire because people are tired of waiting, tired of the silence, tired of a democracy that doesn't feel like one. But that's just the surface, because this year, 2025, Cameroon is heading into another presidential election. And yes, Paul Biya is expected to run again. Let that sink in. No real succession plan, no sign of stepping down at 92, no clear pathway for peaceful transfer of power. And while the ruling party may pretend like everything's normal, civil society groups, opposition leaders, even religious institutions are saying enough is enough. The Catholic Bishops' Conference has openly called for Biya to step aside. Youth voter registration is at historic lows. And opposition parties like the MRC and SDF are mobilizing, trying to unite behind a single candidate. The problem? The system is stacked. The elections are widely seen as rigged. Opposition leaders have been jailed. Protests are crushed. And the Anglophone regions still in the middle of a violent separatist crisis that's left thousands dead and 500,000 displaced. So no, there hasn't been a coup. But when the political system is this fragile, when people feel ignored, excluded, and yes, powerless, even a fake rumor can feel like a breath of relief, a whisper of hope, a signal that maybe, just maybe, change is finally coming. And that, my people, is what makes this moment so dangerous. Because when hope is based on a lie, it leaves the truth even harder to hold on to. But while the coup rumor turned out to be false, something very real did happen in Cameroon over this weekend. In Douala, the country's economic capital, security forces flooded the streets. Parts of the city were sealed off. Roads were blocked. And members of the opposition party, the MRC, were stopped from gathering again. Their leader, Maurice Kamto, the same man who won nearly 15% of the vote in 2018 and still claims that election was stolen, was physically barred from leaving his home. He had called for a meeting with supporters. Instead, he found himself surrounded by police. No riot, no protest, no violence, just a peaceful political meeting shut down before it even started. Now that is the real story, not some manufactured headline about a coup, but a government using force to block political participation in broad daylight, with elections just 4 months away. And this is exactly why rumors like the one we saw this weekend gain traction. Because when people are silenced, when opposition leaders are harassed, when basic rights like freedom of assembly are denied, the system starts to feel so closed off that any news of change, real or fake, feels believable. Sometimes even hopeful. But that's the danger. Because while we're distracted by AI-fueled fantasies, the real machinery of repression is moving quietly, methodically, and legally right in front of us. This wasn't a coup. It was something worse. It was a reminder that in Cameroon today, power is held tight. So tight that even the idea of change has to be shut down. So as we fight the spread of fake news, my people, let's not ignore the very real stories trying to break through the noise. Because the truth may not always go viral, but is the only thing that can set us free. Now let's zoom out for a second, because this wasn't just a rumor. This was part of a much bigger pattern across the continent and across the world. We're seeing a surge in AI-generated disinformation. I'm talking about voice clones mimicking real politicians, fake headlines that look like they came from CNN or the BBC, entire videos doctored, deep-faked, or completely fabricated, circulating faster than facts ever could. And here's the scary part. These lies aren't being spread randomly. No, they're being engineered to influence elections, undermine trust, and destabilize nations. In a place like Cameroon, where the press is restricted, where transparency is already weak, this kind of disinformation becomes even more dangerous. Because how do you challenge power when you can't even trust the information you're seeing? How do you organize for real change when the truth is buried beneath viral lies? And this isn't just a Cameroon problem. A few weeks ago, a very similar thing happened in Ivory Coast. Rumors went viral claiming that President Alassane Ouattara had been removed in a coup. Videos, photos of chaos, headline-style posts spread everywhere. Even several of our viewers messaged me also asking why I haven't covered the coup in the Ivory Coast. But it wasn't true. Again, the Ivorian Cyber Agency officially denounced it as a deliberate disinformation. These weren't just random rumors. They were AI-amplified smokescreens designed to mirror real fear in unstable political moments. In Ivory Coast, fact checkers showed that the footage was from unrelated protests or old incidents, and government officials and journalists confirmed that there was no coup. My people, this is the new front line, the information war. And Africa, just like every other region, is right in the middle of it. Because now you don't need a tank or a gun to stage a coup. Sometimes all you need is a fake tweet and a deep fake video. And just like that, perception becomes reality. And reality becomes irrelevant. This is the cost of unchecked disinformation. It doesn't just mislead people, it erodes trust. It weakens institutions. And it steals the oxygen from real movements that are fighting for real change. So the next time you see a viral video, the next time a voice note lands in your WhatsApp, the next time someone says, "Did you hear what happened?" Ask yourself, who does this benefit? And what does it cost us to believe it? Because in a world where truth is under attack, knowing how to think critically is power. And protecting our stories, our real stories, is a revolutionary act. And the truth is, this war, it's only going to get worse, my people. We're entering an era where anyone, anywhere can create fake news that looks exactly like the real thing. Where a deep fake can start a war. Where AI can clone your favorite news anchor's voice and make them say anything. And in Africa, where trust in government is low, media literacy is underfunded, and political tensions are already high, this is a ticking time bomb. We don't just have to worry about censorship anymore. Now, we have to worry about manipulation, about foreign actors, internal power players, and rogue networks flooding the digital space with confusion until nobody knows what's real, what's fake, or who to believe. This is the next frontier of power. Not just controlling land, but controlling the narrative. So how do we fight back? We fight with truth, with media literacy, with independent journalism that holds the line even when the noise gets loud. We support platforms doing the work like Panagenius and our platforms, Africa Check, Dubawa, FactSpace, CDD, who are all out here verifying stories and calling out the lies. We teach our communities to question everything, not to become paranoid, but to become powerful. Because the most dangerous thing about disinformation isn't just that it spreads, it's that it makes people give up on truth altogether. And when people stop believing in truth, they stop believing in change. They stop believing that their vote matters, that their voice matters, that anything can be different. But yes, it can be different. We just have to learn how to fight in this new war with sharper eyes, stronger voices, and a real understanding of how to protect ourselves from digital lies. So here are a few things you can do right now to stay informed and not be misled. Number one, check the source. If a headline seems outrageous, ask who published it. Is it a known media outlet? Is there a reporter's name on it? No source equals no trust. Number two, look at the date. Old videos often get recycled during new events to stir drama. A video from 2012 doesn't mean something happened today. And number three, reverse search images or video. Right-click the image or screenshot and search with Google Images or tools like InVid or TinEye. You often find that it came from a completely different place. And number four, cross-check with multiple outlets. Don't rely on just one tweet or WhatsApp message or YouTube video. If a story is real, multiple credible sources will confirm it. Face-to-Face Africa, Africa News, BBC, Reuters, local platforms, and fact-checkers. And number five, be slow to share. Before you hit forward, ask, is this true? Have I confirmed that it's true? Is it helpful? Could this cause harm if it's wrong? And if you're unsure, just don't amplify it. And finally, follow the fact checkers. Again, platforms like Africa Check, FactSpace, CDD, they exist to do the digging so you don't have to. So make them part of your news diet. Because in this digital age, being informed is not passive. It's an act of resistance. It's how we protect our communities. And it's how we take power back from those who profit off of our confusion. The battle for truth is here. Let's not lose it by default. Because what's at stake isn't just the next election. It's the future of our continent. So let's stay alert, my people. If you enjoyed this episode, share it and drop a comment to let me know your thoughts. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.